Hello, Dazzly Pants, back yet again. Two videos in one day for all of one subscriber. I'm sure it'll get better at some point. Anyway, back to the topic of the day, Ghostbusters. More specifically, misogyny and sexism. What kind of effect did it have? Well, misogyny and sexism are a marketing strategy, if you can call it that. It failed to stifle real opinions of Ghostbusters 2016, but one thing it absolutely did was to scare the general media into buying the rhetoric that all male criticism of Ghostbusters 2016 was nothing to do with its content and more to do with the sex of the four leads. And it's hard to ignore either. 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics giving the movie praise which the general movie-going public don't appear to be in agreement with only 58% audience score out of a sampling of 91,000 people. And certainly the box office results thus far don't bear out professional critics one bit. Now, of course, some will say, but the trolls manipulated the vote. And sure, I can buy that some people would go that far to put down a movie, but at the same time, there's defenders of the movie that are just as vociferous and will vote it a 10 out of 10 as the detractors vote a 1 out of 10. Checking out IMDb, that hive of scum and villainy, the general consensus is that the votes have been drastically manipulated, and to a degree, that consensus is correct. But the interesting thing to note is the almost similar votes for 1 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 has 12,577 votes, and 1 out of 10 has garnered 15,375 votes. In essence, both virtually cancel each other out. There's only a few thousand either way, and it keeps going up and down. Ghostbusters might be a bit of a crappy movie, a bit of an understatement, but it's no 1 out of 10, and it's most certainly not a 10 out of 10 either. So we can simply discount these extremes in the first place, which is exactly what IMDb tends to do in any case. It now hovers in the 5.3 out of 10, and over the past week it's barely moved from that position. Ghostbusters appears to have found its true reflective mark. The general consensus on IMDb broadly fits with the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which, as I said earlier, was about 58%. Again, that one goes up and down as well. So it's more than a shame that the professional critics appear to ignore what their role was and give the movie a pass simply so that they wouldn't be labelled sexist and misogynists. Apparently a movie simply being okay or not as bad as I thought is a ringing endorsement. Nice one. And back to that label. Does it actually have any merit? The simple answer is a resounding no. The notion that large swathes of males cannot abide the presence of women in movies is undone entirely by the facts. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley in the Alien franchise, Milla Jovovich in the Resident Evil franchise, Kate Beckinsale in the Underworld franchise, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson in Lucy, Gillian Anderson in The X-Files, Uma Thurman and the rest of the female cast in Kill Bill, even Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia in Star Wars. The list goes on of successful movies with female leads, and note the use of the word franchise in most of the descriptions. These movies were no fluke because some teenage boys think Kate Beckinsale looks hot in a black PVC suit, which she totally does, by the way. Some of these movies have had 3 or 4 sequels, and all the same women featured again and again. The issue for a lot of Ghostbusters fans is, why did Paul Feig feel the need to wholesale change part of what made the original work and not work hard enough on the core aspects like the script? It was the camaraderie of the male leads and their interaction that made things work, with a great script and decent VFX for the day. Bear in mind, Ghostbusters was a $30 million production back in 1984, which was massive. Don't believe me? To put Ghostbusters into perspective, Return of the Jedi, released a year before, cost $32.5 million. Ghostbusters was a risk, and a pretty big one. No riding on the coattails of predecessors. Get it right first time, or it's over before it's begun. When feminists and social justice warriors champion stuff like Ghostbusters 2016, I wonder how in the hell they think it's empowering for women, because it's really not. What it says to me is, hey ladies, Here's an old movie property that was made successful by men and written by men, and rather than give you an original property to work from, you can resurrect what worked before, because we basically have no faith you can pull off something original. How the fuck is giving hand-me-down franchises to women empowering for them? It's simply not. It's insulting to the women involved. It's insulting holding up a placard saying girl power, as if that was even remotely the point or the problem with Ghostbusters in the first place. And it's insulting that Ghostbusters was hijacked like this in the first place. The brand may be irreparably damaged as a result, because no one will likely be allowed to do a version with a predominantly male cast, written in the same style as the originals, and have that be a success over Ghostbusters 2016. Empowering women would be what Kristen Wiig did with Bridesmaids. She wrote it, she starred in it, and the general consensus is it's a good movie. I sure as fuck laughed through it both times I saw it. Stop changing franchises and movies to fit agendas, because fans of the original material don't like their shit being fucked about with for the sake of fucking about with it. As if changing the sex of the characters makes the movie super awesome by default and leave the rest of the important details as an aside. And that's not to say I have a problem with vagina in movies, but it's self-evident to me that too much focus was made by Feig & Co. on the female change in Ghostbusters. That everything else, like a decent storyline and a funny script, came secondary. Damn it, we know these women are funny. We've all enjoyed movies they've been in before. But why the fuck couldn't the same level of care be put into the script for Ghostbusters as was done for Bridesmaids? If the script was good, and we all laughed hard and loud, no one would care it was 4 females instead of 4 males. But unfortunately, that's all we were left with. And finally, to reinforce that the sexist and misogynist bullshit was from a small minority, a trailer was released for Wonder Woman at Comic-Con, due for release in 2017, starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine in a secondary role. Most people thought she was one of the better aspects of that train wreck that was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Checking out the latest trailer on YouTube, it's obviously going to be just as unpopular as Ghostbusters 2016, right? Right? If only the misogynist got the memo. Currently, it's just under a day since release, has over 8 million views, has 147,132 likes, and a rather miserable 3,462 dislikes. It's almost as if female-led movies in a female-designed franchise are likely to succeed, and has nothing to do with whether or not the lead has a dick between their legs. And just for the record, if Ghostbusters 2016 was the exact same movie but with 4 male leads, it would have sucked an equal amount of horse shit as the one that got released. Like I said before, no one fucking won after Ghostbusters 2016 got released. See you again soon!